hopefully folks will be able to join us as we move along. Good morning, this is Kelly Masters, and I am the convener here for our Michigan Financial Wellness Network. And welcome to everyone who was or is a Money Smart Week supporter, and to everyone else here in the state of Michigan who has a role to play in serving our 10 million residents and providing non-solicitous financial information. This is our third meeting since we made this transition. Back in October, we got together and talked about what we thought might be changing, and in fact has, and I have some additional updates for you on the national level. And then last month in November, we kind of started to formalize everything, and here we are in December. And I have a lot of great things to share with you all this morning as well. So with that, I will try to watch the chat. It's a little bit challenging to do that when you're also managing the PowerPoint, but I will do my best. So if you have questions about anything that I'm covering, go ahead and put them in the chat. That way we'll use that kind of like a parking lot so that we can come back around and answer questions. But I'm going to go ahead and get started, just run through. I don't have a lot of slides because I'm hoping to spend some time with the networking that we would normally do around the table when we were able to gather in person. So we want to leave time for that today. So today is December 3rd. Please make sure and mark your calendar. Our next coffee chat will be on January 15th. If we feel that there's a need for us to get together before then, we can certainly schedule something, but for sure, make sure that January 15th is on your calendar for one of our general Money Smart Week meetings. So Money Smart Week 2021, it is going to be different, and we anticipated that, the announcement that came out back in the fall. And I'll just confirm for everyone some of the things that have been confirmed with me, and some of those things publicly, is that the Federal Reserve Bank's Money Smart Week will be 100% virtual, and they are asking all pre-existing supporters to become promotional partners of only the FRBC originated programming. And I learned just this week that they plan to have 3 to 4 live virtual events. The topics are not yet known and dates are not yet scheduled. They're asking that no one do any local programming if they consider themselves participating in the FRBC Money Smart Week. Money Smart Week supporters who are delivering non-FRBC content are not to use the Money Smart Week logo or FRBC resources. Also, it looks as though there will be no geocache or any cash programming for 2021. So as you can see, the hierarchy of the programming for Money Smart Week 2021 is the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, which of course is the fiscal policy body and setting financial policy, and the bank's bank, with Money Smart Week being one very small component of what they do out of their public relations department. And Money Smart Week had grown to become a national campaign. And then within that, Michigan obviously was one of, last year, I think we had 45 states that were involved. So although we only represented 2% of the participating states, we actually represented, I want to say it was like 22% of all of the impact for the campaign. So moving forward, after having conversations and meetings with many of you, there's a very strong feeling across our provider network here in Michigan that moving forward, we need to formalize the Michigan Financial Wellness Network going forward, which we've done. We need to focus on a year-round initiative, which is going to be our Money Smart Michigan initiative. And then it does make sense to have something that's a bit of a focal point each year. And so instead of an 8-day period, we will be using the entire financial literacy month, the entire month of April. So just to be clear, we have been driving collective impact by building relationships, sharing best practices, leveraging our resources, and promulgating high quality content and information. So if you think about it here in Michigan, the network is something that will be ongoing. I intend to have monthly meetings like this one, more frequently as needed. The initiative is our Money Smart Michigan Financial Literacy Initiative, and that's something that we will do year-round collectively, and then with a focal point of a month-long campaign in the month of April. So some of you have seen this before, so I'm not going to read it verbatim. I will make this recording available, so after the fact, if you want to read this, with full granularity, you can. But the Michigan Financial Wellness Network is made up of partners who are individuals and organizations dedicated to improving the financial well-being of Michigan residents. And as we have had for at least the 8 years I've been involved, we've had partners from all sectors, including nonprofit, government, faith-based organizations, professional associations, etc. And we've been intentionally inclusive, and we've provided a framework within which many types of needs and many resources have been brought together with a common goal of serving the financial literacy needs of Michigan residents. And one thing I do want to continue to point out is that anyone involved in what we are doing understands, embraces, and will abide by the non-solicitous mission of the work that we do. So while many of us are individual financial professionals or service providers or educators delivering programming year-round, it's often in silos. So we come together as a network to support one another, to have a shared focus, and to share tips and techniques and collaborate whenever possible, knowing that in our quote, day jobs, we are all doing our part in our own place of business, place of work. So for our purposes here in Michigan, we will have content that is locally developed and delivered, as well as being able to take advantage of things that might be regional or national in scope. So for example, those virtual events and resources or programs that are made available by the Federal Reserve Bank, actually of any district, not just out of Chicago. There are other FRBs that have really fantastic content, and the CFPB and FDIC and many other national organizations. But we are not limiting our resources here in Michigan. We are going to embrace what's available at the national level, but we're also going to embrace the wonderful providers that we have here in the state of Michigan and those who are serving the residents of our state. So we are right now, as I said, planning to gather monthly, virtually at this time for obvious reasons. And while each of us does what we do individually and independently, that's often very fragmented and operating in silos. So we all know, as we have seen over the last 8 years or more, that working together intentionally, when we do that with intention, it can be very powerful, and relationships that otherwise would not exist and programs that otherwise would not be well known will be able to service more Michigan residents. So the WEN is regularly gathering for things like this. Someday back in person, perhaps, maybe we'll have a hybrid option going forward. And then the why is because we are better together. So some of the Michigan specific updates that I wanted to share. So I am in the process right now of securing funding to do this, right? So We do need underwriting support to establish our Michigan Financial Wellness Network and to do this year-round work collaboratively with that heightened focus around the need for financial literacy in April, but it really is a 12-month-a-year commitment and initiative that we are undertaking. Some programming updates. I'm excited to announce that our Money Smart Kids Read program is moving forward, and for libraries that are on the call, you hopefully saw the invitation for the book requests that came out on the 1st of December via MishLib. And I am able to secure 7,500 copies of this year's chosen book here in Michigan, which is Cinders McCloud Give It, which is a delightful book in the Money Bunny series. We used Earn It and Save It the two previous years. And so this year we're going to use Give It, which is a sweet story and has a philanthropic theme to it. So we have 7,500 copies to give. And so I know libraries are being very creative in their program delivery with grab and goes and Facebook Live story times and all kinds of other things. And so we anticipate that many of the programs will be virtual this next year, and we know how creative our youth librarians are. So we're excited to see what you all come up with. I've also had several fantastic conversations with our one of our premier sponsors over the last several years, Ally Financial. And there's a very strong possibility that we are going to take our in-school Money Smart Kids Magic Show, which is typically a school-wide assembly, and we are going to be digitizing it, making available on demand for teachers to use, either in 5 to 7 minute segments, each of which teach a different lesson, or the entire 45-minute assembly model. Obviously, none of us are going to be able to do programs in schools for the foreseeable future. But this program was just too good to not figure out a way to do it. And so waiting on the final go-ahead, but things are all looking very positive to having our Money Smart Kids Magic Show available for this coming April. And then for those of you who are involved in our Fempreneur Summit, back in October, we did our first virtual summit, and it was wonderful. It worked out really well. Participants had great feedback. And so we're looking to possibly do a prelude to the next summit, which is scheduled for June, doing something in April as part of Money Smart Michigan month. So stay tuned for details on that. And, just want to give a shout out and thanks to our underwriting partners for the 2020 summit, TCF Bank and Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union. And our chairs for that were, again, wonderful. So looking ahead, some additional and very specific updates to Michigan. So for our partner connections, many of you said we'd love to have contact information for the wonderful people who gather with us on a monthly basis. And so so far, I've only had 15 people who have submitted their information. And this is being done through a Google Doc, so that I have control about where the information goes. So this is not something that will be made available publicly. It's not something that will be posted on a website, but it is a working document for folks like you all who are on this call and others who will watch the recording of the meeting, so that if you're looking for presenters or if you are a financial professional with expertise to share, it will be a bit of a matchmaking document so that you can say what it is that you have to offer and what it is that you are looking for. So much like we would have done in our in-person meetings, but we're creating an organic Google document that we can continue to evolve and expand with new resources, new needs. So I encourage all of you to put your information into that document so that we can share it with other partners in this work. And then also I've been hard at work in developing our own Money Smart Michigan web page. It is going to be very simple. It is going to be very easy to navigate. And I have a pretty, I would say probably the, I don't know, fourth iteration of it ready to go. So when I send out the follow-up email from today's meeting, you will be able to see a draft of that. For some reason, some of my graphics are not loading today. I don't know why. So I had some screenshots of that, and perhaps when I stop the PowerPoint, we can jump over to take a look at what I've drafted so far. Let's see, I'm trying to see here. So, sorry, I'm going backwards here. So again, just to summarize, because we do have people on the call who were not here last month, I just want to make it very clear that the Michigan Financial Wellness Network is comprised of partners from all sectors working collaboratively to deliver non-solicitous financial education and resources to Michigan consumers. Our initiative, the Money Smart Michigan Financial Wellness Initiative, is a year-round effort to bring partners together and serve the ongoing financial literacy needs of our 10 million residents. And then the campaign, which lives within that, is the Money Smart Michigan Month. It is a month focused on a focused effort to raise public awareness and engagement during the month of April, which across the country is Financial Literacy Month. And so subsumed within that is the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago's Money Smart Week. So that is now part of something we've been doing for many years, which is larger than that, our month-long commitment. And just again, a note that all interactions, programs, events, and materials will be non-solicitous. And I'm so sad that my my graphics are not showing. I might try this again. I'll stop screen sharing and restart the PowerPoint. But my goal for today is to allow us to do some networking, as I referenced earlier, as we would have done had we been meeting in person. So we're going to do that here in just a few minutes. And when we do this, I want you to think about it this way. When we open this up and I open up the mics, I might go through and call by name, but I want everyone else who's here to know, who's in the room and be thinking about possible collaborations. And as we're each taking our turn, at the mic, so to speak, think about what is your offer and what is your need. So it's the have a penny, take a penny, need a penny, leave a penny bowl that my parents had at the general store growing up. It's that kind of thing where we all have assets to share and we all have something that we're looking for. So what is your ask and what is your offer? And then be thinking about what you're working to achieve. And as others are speaking, you may want to make note of those individuals where you see intersections, right, with the work that you're doing or the things you're trying to accomplish, so that it will make a more effective and an easier way to, for me to make those introductions, okay? And then I just want to put the schedule up quickly before I'm going to get out of this PowerPoint and relaunch it and see if I can get the graphics to show, because I do think the visuals help to clarify several things. But we do currently have coffee chats scheduled for January 15th, February 9th, and I'm looking at tentatively March 3rd, and then of course all of April, and then we'll look at dates throughout the summer as well. But be sure that the next few dates are on your calendar, January 15th, February 9th. And again, if we feel that there's a need to have additional meetings in between those, I'm certainly open to that, and you can just reach out to me directly. My email address is on the bottom of each slide, just moneysmartmichigan@gmail.com. So I do want to point out that there are some things that have not changed at all, as things at the FRBC are changing. Here in Michigan, our fiscal agent for the past several years has been and continues to be the Michigan Council on Economic Education. Many, if not all, of our strategic partnerships are continuing with actually exuberance, I will say. I think folks are really excited about this expanded scope and about the idea of ongoing and more holistic collaboration without a singular focus about an 8-day period in April. So, you know, the Library of Michigan is huge and already back on board. Michigan Credit Union Foundation, the Michigan Jumpstart Coalition, of course, MCEE, Oakland County Michigan Works, I'm thrilled to know, is embracing what we're doing, and there are others. So with that, I'm going to stop screen sharing for a moment and see if I can't figure out what's going on with my PowerPoint, because there is actually one slide in particular that I think would be valuable for folks to be able to see graphically. Oh, it's not showing any of my graphics on my PowerPoint either. So we may have to forego that today. I don't know. I'll try to restart it and see what happens, but I don't want to waste time with everybody. Okay, so with that, I know that was pretty fast, and I apologize, but I did want to leave time for others to speak. So I'm going to take a look at, are you saying my audio keeps going out in and out? I'm sorry about that. Audio is fine. Okay. So merchants manager is starting to rebuild and formalize our financial course availability schedule. Okay, so I see here Amanda from First Merchants Bank. I hope everyone else is kind of peeking in on the chat so that you can see what people are asking for. Post the Google Doc link in the chat again. Okay, yeah, Kathy, I will do that. Oh, and then Mary just said she had a conflict. Okay, so not too much in the chat yet, but yeah, Kathy, I will post that. And for those of you who have already completed the Google Doc, thank you. I had a couple people who've done it twice. I know Derek did it twice, and I can't remember who else, but someone else put their information in twice. Once you've done it one time, you don't have to do it again. But I would like to have, I'd like to have it to be a robust document that we can use going forward. And I'm going to give a shout out to Linda here. You remember yesterday how excited I was about doing the breakout rooms? Well, we discovered that we have to have that turned on before we start the Zoom meeting. So we're not going to be able to do that until our next get together, and I'll make sure that that's turned on before we get started. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to just kind of do a round robin and see if folks they want to do like we would do around a table, you know, who you are, what your offer is, and what your ask is. And then everyone else in the room can make a note of who they want to connect with after the fact. Okay, so if you want to go first and you want to unmute yourself, I guess we'll do it that way. And then everyone else just remain muted, please, so that we don't have all the background noise. But if someone wants to get us started, otherwise I can just pick somebody.
Kelly, I'll go ahead and start us off. Good morning, everyone. So I'm with Oakland County Michigan Works, and I see that Joe St. Henry is on the call also. He is from the county, from Oakland County, and we are very excited that Oakland County Michigan Works is going to be participating in this collaboration in a big way, because we plan to host monthly, probably, well, we've got 6 different centers in Oakland County, and we are hoping to host 2 to 3 events per month at each center for financial literacy. We're thinking we'd like to offer a core group of events that are basic, you know, budgeting, core type events at each center, and then maybe 1 or 2 specialty events throughout the county each month. So I will definitely be reaching out to those content providers. And Kelly, I was wondering if the Google Doc that you are creating, is that going to be shared with us so that we'll be able to use it for reference to contact people? Or are we going to
Yes.
need to go through you to do that?
I think what will happen, because we have over 1,000 people in our email distribution right now, I'm not going to just broadcast that document, but for those folks who show up every month and who have made it known, like yourself, that you're part of the reason we're creating this, Linda, is because I know that you are looking for good people, and you don't need to always come to me, right? I will be the facilitator for this and bringing people together and creating this document, but I will share it with those people who request it, with the caveat that this is really intended to be an internal communication document. And I really hope that nobody misuses it. As I shared, 6 or 7 years ago, I got burned. Someone took my partner list and was using it for spamming purposes. So I stopped doing it, because people deserve to have their information used respectfully. So I'm not going to broadcast the document, but I will be making it available to those who request it. So a little bit more selectively than just emailing it out to everybody.
Right. Sounds good.
So Linda's also asking for you all to fill out the Google Doc.
Yes. Yeah, our plan is to launch this in April. So we've got a little bit of time, but for those of you who are familiar with me, you know that in the past, trying to jam 24 to 32 events in 1 week was a bit of a stretch, but now we'll be able to spread it over the year. So that'll be really nice to be able to get to know more of you.
Right. And I also think that takes a huge burden off of our presenters, right? For some of them, they were like, I can only do so many things in 8 days.
Right.
So I'm thrilled to hear that that's happening, and kudos to Oakland County Michigan Works for doing that. So will you include the library link in your follow-up email? Reach out to them as well. Okay, so Natalie, I will not be including the library link in my email that goes out to everyone, but I will send it to you directly. The link has already been sent to libraries. But we're not going to put that book request link in the general email distribution to all partners, because it would just be confusing. But I will share it with you because I know you have some of those outlying library partners that don't have internet. So I will do that. Okay, so thank you, Linda, for being my brave leader. Who wants to go next in terms of your offer and your ask?
I'm not sure if you could see me, but
we can see you.
I'm Tommy Scott, and I'm a community liaison with the Detroit Michigan Works. And I, like Linda, are interested in seeing if we could develop virtual content for our participants and seeing if we could develop some programming to help engage them in the financial literacy process.
Well, welcome. I think you're new. Have you been to a meeting before?
Yes, I've been a part since last year, attending meetings at the Federal Reserve.
Oh, gotcha, downtown. Yes. Okay, well, great. This is great. You weren't at last month's meeting, I don't think, but I'm thrilled that you are here. And we will for sure get you hooked up.
Thank you.
So again, everyone needs to make sure that they're filling their information into our Google Doc, and I will send that link out again. That's great, Tommy. I'm thrilled.
Kathy, you and I want to go?
Sure. I was getting ready.
Go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Kathy Jamison. I work for Michigan State University Extension. I'm located out of Macomb, but I can do programming statewide if it's virtual. Both Lori and I, our specialty areas are youth financial education, but we could connect you with content providers of adult education as well, because we have a whole team that does that. And some of the things that we plan on doing, we have a couple of contests that we're developing. One of them is something that we've done. This will be the 3rd year we've done it. It's called Show Your Money Smarts Contest. And this is going to be an opportunity where we'll be doing webinars on the topic, and we're still fine tuning everything. That will be open to everybody. And then the kids will be able to participate in a quiz-like game where they can win a prize for the top winners. So one of the, so that's what we're offering. One of the asks are, we're looking for some financial backing so we can give the prize money. Another thing that we are involved in, and we did this last year and we had great success, is we did an essay contest. So we're going to do another essay contest. And this will be for a different age group, but also for young people, where the kids will have to write a 300-word essay, submit it. So we might be, so that's what we're offering. One of the things that we might be needing are reviewers of the essays, as well as we also want to offer prizes to the young people. So that would be the ask, as well as promotion of both of these contests. So those are just two things. I don't know, Lori, were there other things that we had?
I think that was pretty much it, but I'll just add that I'm based in Wayne County, and I know Kathy said we can do things virtually, really statewide, but we do a lot in Southeast Michigan as a whole. So the Metro Detroit area is kind of, and surrounding areas is kind of our base. So I think that was it, right, Kathy?
Yeah, so we have all kinds of presentations already ready to go
Yeah.
on like credit, investing, budgeting for the holidays, banking, insurance, all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah, between us and the adult financial education team. Yeah.
Mhm. Awesome. And many of you know Beth Martinet. So she's typically been at all of our meetings. And so she's on the adult side, right? So it's that,
yes.
the youth team and the adult team. So, and she's been really helpful over the years too. Thank you, ladies. So many bashful people today.
Ted, you need to unmute yourself.
There you go. Got it. Hey, as a side point, could you send us the email contact information for the participants for this morning's meeting? I've got a couple of messages I need to send out. And if I don't get to it during the chat phase of this Zoom, it's going to be difficult to find everybody. Could you do that, Kelly?
I can do that. Again, if people put their information in the Google Doc, that would be the best place for that to live. Yeah, so
Okay.
that would allow you to contact everybody who's here, because everybody who's here, hopefully, one of the first things you do when you get done with this meeting is you put your information into Google Doc.
That would be helpful, because otherwise I'm going to scramble to find to respond to some of these items that have been discussed. But anyway, my name is Ted Lakitas. I'm a certified financial planner and president of the Signet Institute of Personal Financial Literacy. Signet Institute is the financial literacy partner of Oakland Community College. We've been involved with them for about the last 3-4 years now. We are a nonprofit, a 501c3. What we do is basically deliver programming for adults. We spent, well over 20 years doing workshops for the UAW, GM, employees, many other companies, helping them delivering content for their 401k decisions, also doing workshops. We basically categorize our content into 3 categories. One is the experiential workshops, where people actually do a plan in class, whether it be an estate plan, a financial plan, an investment plan, by actually using their own content. We believe strongly in the experiential aspect of learning, and with that in mind, we've been very successful. So we've compartmentalized our programs in 3 categories. One is the extensive experiential workshops, which consists typically of 2, 3, or 4 sessions, each of them about 2 to 3 hours, in which participants actually develop whatever the focus of the class might be. Then we also have in-depth content. Typically, that means about 1.5 to 2.5 hours of material that we get into a lot of detail with participants, and those are one of just in one session, and typically those we run with libraries. We've been doing library seminars since 2004, where people basically go through a 2-hour session understanding in more detail about Social Security, taxes, investing, or what have you. And then we also have a series of online, digital, online available lunch and learn presentations that can last anywhere from 30 minutes to 60 minutes, depending on the audience. One of the key things for us is we are have deep financial roots in financial advice, investment advice, and whatnot. However, our presenters are not allowed to accept any of the participants of these workshops as clients. And let me repeat that. We are experts in this field, are no different than the people that you attend, you see in library seminars, school seminars, any number of presentations done, the motive of which is really to pick up some clients. We understand that. In our model, our presenters are not permitted to accept people as clients. I think that makes us rather unique, particularly given the level of expertise that we bring. So,
All right, thanks, Ted.
Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the hook, Kelly. Thank you.
Yes, and Ted, I do have your information in the Google Doc. I remember reading that. So, all right. How about Janet or Sylvia or Mary, Elizabeth, Sean?
Hello?
Yes.
I'm sorry, was someone else already going?
No, I think you're good.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Devontae Montgomery. I am a financial educator with MSU Federal Credit Union, which is also Oakland University Credit Union. So I am a content provider. We specialize really in all ages, so from youth all the way up to adult. I like to say as young as they can begin to understand numbers, and then there's no limit on the age. So I'm also a podcast host. So we have our financial education podcast, which is Wallet Watch. So that's like financial education on the go. And basically what we do is we curate special material for any of our partners. You know, if you like for the material to be presented in a certain way, those different things. So budgeting, credit, identity theft, career readiness, things like that. Explaining and unpacking what a mortgage is and the home buying process. So really, we just like to create custom things for our partners. So I am here as a content creator and would love to partner with anyone that needs that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hello. Oh, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
What? Sorry. This is Sean Gray at the U.S. Small Business Administration. I'm an economic development specialist there. Well, here, I guess, sort of odd working from home, as you know. And I'm also, sorry, I'm not turning my video on because I am presently being held hostage by a 18-month-old and a 5-year-old. So don't look like much, but the girls asked who this picture is. So give you an idea of how, how it's been a rough, 10 months now at home. But I am glad to be back to joining these calls. I think I joined some last year and went to some of the events, in person last year. And so glad to be able to join these calls. And it's always important for us to keep a sense of what opportunities there are out there for folks to learn about financial literacy and credit preparedness, because oftentimes we find that one of the big goals that people have is starting their own venture. And so we like to be engaged and be available if you need us to address a group. I am available. Last year I had, for anyone else who's in federal service, you tend to have difficulty doing work that's outside of your assigned or designated goals. So last year I had a goal in my performance that was related to youth financial literacy or entrepreneurship. And so that was good. I'm hopeful that that will sort of continue this year, but I don't know if it will. But at the same time, you know, any of the workforce development, economic development interest, or financial literacy interests where it would be helpful to have sort of the SBA come in and talk about entrepreneurship, I can join in that and support to the extent that is beneficial to our constituencies. So glad to be here and glad to hear so much about some of the programming that you guys are doing. And to the extent I can participate, I'll be sure to fill out the contact information.
Thank you.
So that people can reach out to me, but you're more than welcome to reach out to me, and I would be glad to join calls or webinars to talk about entrepreneurship from the SBA's point of view.
Fantastic. And you're not alone. Just so you know, these last 10 months, you're not alone.
I was just holding my older daughter who was, I looked over her schooling and she looked a little disinterested. So I was just holding her and telling her that, you know, my dad didn't have an opportunity to hold me during the school day. So there are certainly some blessings in this period of time, and hopefully we're all able to realize the positives of such a difficult time as well.
For sure. All right, so Elizabeth.
I'll go next. So my name is Elizabeth.
Okay, Elizabeth, I cannot hear you.
Oh, you can't? Oh, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yes.
My laptop is so finicky sometimes. So hi, I'm Elizabeth Robinson. I am with Health Alliance Plan. So I don't work in the financial sphere per se, but I believe we're called a resource partner. I'm not exactly sure what our sponsorship title is, but I have had the pleasure of working with Michigan Works in presenting workshops and educational series about Medicare, which works hand in hand with a lot of people who are financial planning for their future and their retirement. So I just wanted to introduce myself to be a resource as a Medicare expert. I also do a lot of custom or tailoring presentations to work in community partners that can come in and co-present with me. So I actually do a retirement readiness series where I bring financial planners in or elder law people in to work with me and present a 2-for-1 kind of experience for people who are looking at turning 65 or retiring for the first time and going into transitioning into that different stage in life, where Medicare is just an incredibly complicated and complex, and often people think it's kind of an icky topic. So I just like to be to offer myself up as a resource to help with information about that. So that's what I'm here for, and HAP is really excited to partner with the programs that we can work together with and collaborate with. We are open. So if any of you find a way that you think you could use a contribution from someone like me, just feel free to ping me and say hello. I believe I did fill out the information for the document that you're talking about. Okay. So my contact information should be easily available, but if not, just let me know. I can also drop it in the chat if that helps.
Okay, thanks, Elizabeth.
Well,
I think you and I should have an offline conversation just so I can better understand your offerings, because a lot of times I'm the matchmaker, right?
Yeah.
I'm like eHarmony in Michigan for financial wellness. So the better I can understand your your content, what your offerings are. When I get the phone call or the email from someone who says, hey, I'm looking for this, or I'm trying to put this program together. So I think you and I should probably spend a few minutes together if you're open to that.
We would love to. That's exactly why I'm here today, is to help create that relationship. So.
All right. Well, welcome.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I can jump in here. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sylvia Saldana, and I'm the Homeownership Services Manager at Wayne Metro Community Action Agency. Our headquarters is located downtown Detroit. I am located out of our Wyandotte, out Wayne headquarters in Wyandotte. My team provides HUD certified financial, rental, and housing counseling, education, and assistance for residents in Wayne County. We do assist residents outside of Wayne County, but our primary pool of participants is in Wayne County. The classes that we offer are foundations of wealth building, which include basic foundational curriculum such as banking, savings, budgeting, debt reduction, and then an overview of credit. We offer a class called Renting Right, which is designed for both landlords and tenants. And it includes information on landlord tenant rights, affordable rent, renter's insurance, fair housing information. And we're really digging into the moratoriums now, considering the state of the nation. We offer the homebuyer education through our Homebuyer Club. This class offers information from the very first thought of purchasing a home all the way to the closing table. We bring in industry experts, and like you, Ted, our experts that come in are only there for education content. They're not allowed to engage in terms of like personal marketing. So the experts get in front of the people, and the people can engage them outside of us, but not during class. It's not a marketing tool. We bring in experts like lenders, realtors, insurance agents, private home inspectors. We talk about very specific homebuyer assistance products that are related to residents in Wayne County, specific communities, even blocks within a community. In May, we launched Keep My Home workshop, which is for mortgage intervention. This targets people who are having difficulty making mortgage payments. We talk about, again, the federal moratorium on foreclosure and different repayment plans. We also offer those are our classes. We also offer various workshops that really dig into budgeting. It's called Reality Check Budgeting, where we create our own budgets. The clients create their own budget in class with the help of our certified counselors. We also have a deep dive into credit. So we're really digging into what your credit reports look like and what's made up of your credit scores. We provide HUD certified housing counseling for those interested in working with those interested in getting pre-approved for a mortgage. We also provide housing counseling for tenants who are having issues with maybe a shady landlord, if they need help negotiating repayment plans, or if they're having fair housing issues. And then again, the mortgage intervention, we advocate for the homeowners to adjust their payments so they're able to maintain their housing. We offer all of those sessions monthly, except for in June when we're wrapping up our program year, in December because of the holidays. We do have before our this new format for Money Smart Week in April, we would make sure all of those classes were hosted in that Money Smart Week. But since we're not going to participate in that week and it's going to be month long, we're just going to hold our classes like we normally would do, but promote it a little bit more extensively during that particular month.
Right. And Sylvia, I will say that you make something I want to just restate for folks, and that is, the 8-day period that is the Federal Reserve Bank's designated Money Smart Week. We can still do our own programming during that 8-day period, right? We just can't call it Money Smart Week, right? So that was something that was brought up last month, is like, no, doing what we are doing, we can do our programming anytime we want, of course, adhering to all of the safety protocols of the governor and the state health department and CDC and all of that. We just can't use the Money Smart Week logo, which is fine, right? And when they finally come out and tell us what their virtual offerings are going to be, those 3 or 4 programs, if it makes sense for someone's constituents, then by all means, go ahead and promote those to people that you think it will help. So yeah, Sermetro's been a long-standing partner, so I'm thrilled to see you on the call today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I just wanted to add real quick before
Stage Hook is waiting for you. Stage Hook.
I just wanted to say that I am interested in bringing in the Small Business Administration to talk about, to talk to our entrepreneurs, people who are interested. I need help with estate planning and investment planning and the Social Security Administration. So I'm going to be tapping you all when I get access to that list. Thank you.
Awesome. That's why we're here, right? We're only better together. Okay, who hasn't said anything that would like to? I'm gonna start wrapping up here. I do want to run through a couple of the slides from my PowerPoint. I think I got the graphics fixed, but before I do that, I want to make sure that I haven't missed anyone who has wants to share their offer or their ask. No? Everybody who wants to speak has spoken? Okay, let's see. Linda, are you still on the call? Could you unmute and tell me if you can see the current slide?
Yes, I can see the current slide.
Okay, so this is where, I was talking about how we are formalizing what we're doing, right? So what's different is this year for 2021, the Fed is only offering 3 or 4 programs. They will be virtual. No one is allowed to offer local programming as part of Money Smart Week's campaign. Well, we're going in a different direction. We will certainly embrace what it is that they offer, but we're not going to allow that to restrict or reduce what we're able to do for Michigan consumers. So going forward, we are going to continue doing really what we've been doing. And it was very organic and grassroots. We have been building out this network now for many years, and we're formalizing this. So April being Financial Literacy Month, that's a national focus, and it includes, the Money Smart Week. It includes Show Me the Money Day. It includes programming from the FDIC and the CFPB. But we're not going to be limited to just those 2 or 3 or 4 events. In fact, our initiative, the Money Smart Michigan initiative, is where we're all working together year-round with that added focus to elevate the awareness of Financial Literacy Month during Money Smart Michigan Month. And so again, just to recap, make it very clear, I understand, Ted, you did a great job of providing this recap to the MCEE board. Thank you for that. Apparently what I shared made sense because you were able to convey it. But we have the Michigan Financial Wellness Network, which is made up of folks like you all and others. Our initiative is Money Smart Michigan, which will be year-round. And then the heightened focus to raise awareness and engagement around these topics is all of April during our Money Smart Michigan month. I'm going to skip over these text slides. We already talked about that. Oh, there's the cute little graphic of the cover of the book that we're using for our Money Smart Kids Read program, Earn It by Cinders McLeod. And this is the Google Doc. There's a screenshot of the Google Doc up in the upper right-hand corner. And, I will circulate that link again, asking everyone to complete it. Again, it will be used for private purposes, not broadcast publicly. And then a few screenshots of of the web page that I'm building. So again, very simple, very consumer facing. It's just basically, you know, what is the Money Smart Michigan initiative, how that fits in with our financial wellness network, and then the heightened campaign in April of Money Smart Michigan month. You may not be able to see it really well, but that third graphic from the left says resources, event schedule. That can include events that might be happening in January or February or March. So if you get me that information for those events that you are doing that are non-solicitous, that are, you know, in the realm of financial wellness, whether it be on Medicare or entrepreneurship or budgeting or whatever the case may be, we can include that on our event page, okay? The mock-up that I have now starts with April 1st, because that's kind of our launching of what we're doing, expanding beyond an 8-day period. But if you have things that are going on before then, by all means, I would be happy to include them on this event schedule page. And then the other thing I wanted to share is the Michigan Financial Wellness Network partner page is where I will include the partner organizations that are helping to underwrite what we are doing. And so understanding, and you know, I've been doing this a very long time, and I spent more than a decade in the nonprofit sector myself. I understand that some organizations do not have the ability to underwrite a whole an entire campaign or a huge program like our Money Smart Kids Read or our Money Smart Kids Magic Show. But for those solopreneurs or those small nonprofit organizations, we are going to offer the opportunity for you to have your organization with a hyperlink to your offerings or to your website for a nominal $100 annual investment, okay? So when you get over to check out the web page that we're building out on that partners page, if you are interested in having your organization appear there, just let me know. And there is going to be a Google form for you to fill out so that we get it exactly right in terms of how the name is represented and where the hyperlink should go. And if you're a larger organization, public or private or nonprofit, and you want to become an underwriting partner of the network we're building and of this initiative, certainly by all means, let's engage in a conversation. So again, just to recap the network, the initiative, which is now year round, our campaign the entire month of April, and all must be non-solicitous. So we were going to do breakout rooms, which we will do in January because I think I figured out what we did wrong. But it was okay today, I think, to have everybody in the room with only 28 people. We were able to go around and allow everyone the opportunity to speak, whoever was interested in doing so. But I do anticipate each month in doing breakout rooms with, let's say, 6 or 8 people, where you can have a little bit more in-depth conversations and meet people just as you would if we were seated around tables in a room together. And then those are the dates of our upcoming meetings, which I already talked about. So with that, we are at 9:30 on the button. So yes, Mary, I will share the link to the Google Doc. Kathy, it's my pleasure for bringing us all together. Ted's contact information, Elizabeth's contact information. So, Mark's contact information. Again, if everybody adds that to that Google Doc, I will gladly share that with everyone. And then you can all talk with each other in between our meetings. And since it is 9:30 and I want to be respectful of everyone's time, I'm going to just pause and say, does anyone have any parting comments or questions? Go ahead and unmute if you do.
I do, Kelly. I joined a few minutes late, so you may have already talked about this or maybe not, but is there any reporting that is going to happen? Is that a future conversation?
Well, I think it will be a future conversation. And the reason I say that is there isn't going to be reporting in the sense that what there was under the Federal Reserve Bank's Money Smart Week. However, we do know, and this was brought up by a couple of our MSU Extension friends in our very first meeting when we were we have a dream conversation, in that there is value in being able to say, here's what we've accomplished, right? Being able to say, we had this many events, or we did this many programs, or we touched this many consumers. So I don't know how that will work yet. Maybe we just do that for the month of April. It would be fantastic to say at the end of the year, let's use 2021, at the end of the year, if everyone was able to say, to give me, through this network experience, we were able to deliver X number of programs and touch Y number of consumers. There is tremendous value in being able to tell that story, right? So I don't know if that's an answer to your question, but it is on my mind.
It is. Thank you very much.
Because really we're our own bosses, right? So it's not like we're doing reporting to mom and dad, right? Like, we're coming together as a group of peers who are all working together toward a common goal. And I think there's value in being able to tell the story of that effort, but it's not reporting as in reporting to our boss, because we're our boss. But great question. So yes, reporting is on my mind. I just haven't figured out how to, because in the past I've had to beg, badger, cajole, beg some more for people to submit their information. So I don't know what that will look like, but there is value in being able to tell that story. Okay, yes, thank you, Elizabeth. All right, and then I am going, if there are no other comments or questions, I'm just going to say thank you all for taking an hour out of your day and spending it here with us. And I wish all of you a happy and healthy holiday season. Feel free to reach out to me by email if there are things that we didn't cover or questions that come up as you think about our meeting today. You can always email me. I'm pretty good at responding by email, much better than by phone, because I too have a lot of plates spinning here in my home office, but email allows me to work kind of in off crazy hours. So feel free to contact me. And if I don't talk with you or see you beforehand, I look forward to our January get together. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. Bye.